We got a master recruiter here in the house for the area. He knows all about this science of influence stuff. I highly recommend you get a pen out. I called it a writing stick earlier. All right, it can also be a pencil or a crayon for my Marine friends. I see a couple. But anyways, this man's been in the industry for about 10 years. Past 8 years, every single year he's hit the $100,000 ring. He is knocking on the door. Platinum agent, Mr. GlenDavis is going to be going over recruiting.
How's everybody doing? You guys ready for a jam-packed training? All right, so I'm going to try to keep it short. We should be out of here by midnight or so. Just joking. Just joking. I heard some people gasp. Okay, so can everybody hear me okay? Awesome. Chad, where'd you go?
I'm right here.
There you are. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Everybody, Chad is just doing a phenomenal job here in this marketplace. You know, we were talking earlier before the meeting started, and he's learning a lot. He's coming a long way. I think he's a phenomenal MC. Everybody just give him a round of applause. Okay, awesome. So I'm just joking. My goal is to be out of here in an hour, hour and 15 minutes at the latest. And I just do want to also point something else out. I'm going to drag this over. This is how the DMV does it. Can you see? Can you see all right, Tracy? Good. Okay. So we improvise here, okay? So we forgot a tripod, so here this is. Okay, can everybody see this all right? Yeah. Okay, great. See, it works. It works. Yeah, so I'm going to go through the slides. We have some slides. I'm going to do, the way I structure this training is I kind of just want to, not go off the cuff, but I have my own training and my own nuggets that I have that I've been training on a long time. So I can train here, and then what we'll do is we'll actually go through the slides to kind of cap this out, and it'll kind of pick up anything that I may have missed. Okay, all right, everybody. So I have my notes here. Look, before we get started, just want to share with everybody kind of my quick story. Chad kind of already went into it a little bit, but I believe that in every story, and we all have a story, I believe that in every story there's actually a training. Like if you actually told your story someday, or if you told your story now, there'd be nuggets in that about your life and about Secret even, you could relate to it. But someday when you're up here training, I encourage you to really embrace your story and not hide from it. We all have our own unique stories, and so mine actually starts, what's pertinent to this industry. Obviously, I'm not going to go back to 1982 when I was born. We would be here until midnight. But what's pertinent for this training, I'll just go back to when I was a personal trainer. I was in college. I went to University of Maryland, College Park. My whole time, my whole life growing up, I was told to go to school, get good grades, and then get a job. And my dad is actually a pretty successful guy in corporate America. So I kind of, and I look up to my dad. He's a good role model, and so I kind of grew up with this attitude, like, I'm going to go to school, and it's definitely what I'm going to do. But honestly, I never really took to school. I was kind of a C student, BC student. My daughter, I hope she's not watching this because that's do what I say, not what I do. Straight A's, Daisy. So anyway, but yeah, so I was a C student. I just didn't really embrace school, but I did go to college, and during college, I never could see, kind of like Rich was saying, I never could see myself working for anybody else. So I started personal training when I was in college, and I really loved it. I loved helping people. I loved the gym. It was a great job. And I actually I became real good at it. I actually, I made really good money, especially in the bubble economy when everybody was kind of throwing money around. It's not like that these days, but I kind of did some dumb things. I made a And I was just kind of spending money. And I think we've all kind of been through that. And my philosophy in life is, look, if you fail, it's God trying to wake you up, saying, don't keep doing what you're doing. Change what you're doing, change your actions, and you'll get different results. And so basically, I got into real trouble. I'm talking, I lost everything. So here I am. It's hard for me to talk about, but I grew up really well. I grew up in a good household. I'm not gonna, I wasn't rags to riches type of story, but I did have the fortunate blessing to experience being completely broke. I lost everything. My car got repossessed in front of my neighbors. I mean, it wasn't pretty. And my dad, he grew up poor, so my dad was, my dad's a pretty hardcore guy. He was like, you're on your own, bro. Great dad, but, I certainly wasn't going to come back to him. And so, I should say crawling back to him, so I took it on the chin, and I kept going. And around the time when this was all happening, I actually found this industry back. Actually, let me back up. In 2005, I started with a company, with a network marketing company, and completely failed. The whole time when I was a trainer, just failed in that company, failed. And I'm going to talk about that during the training tonight, why I was failing. And then in 2008, that's when I really started to, really dive into the industry of network marketing, relationship marketing. And that's actually right when I was losing everything, basically, I found my previous company. And during that, in that company, that's when I started to make 6 figures. So, my story, what I don't want is I don't want people. It can be encouraging, but it also can be discouraging. Because I don't want everybody to think that it's an overnight success. You're just going to wake up and you're going to be a 6-figure earner in network marketing in secret. And it's not the case. It takes a lot of failure, a lot of failing forward, a lot of tenacity, and some come to Jesus talks with yourself. And that's what it's going to take. And that's what I went through. And I picked up a lot about this industry and this whole process, man. I tell you, this recruiting training tonight, is basically like my whole life on paper, as far as my whole, I should say, career, because I'm going to pour into you guys, or I'm going to try to, everything that I've learned. So maybe, hopefully, you guys can take some of the mistakes I made, and you can take some of the things I did right, and you can apply it and save yourself some time. So basically, fast forward till now, I just started with Secret about 6 months ago. I started building with Secret. I actually met Ben. We met in middle school, but we worked together in a previous company. And Ben and Lauren, introduced Secret to me. We kind of did a switcheroo. I introduced them to the previous company, and they introduced me to this. And so it's been awesome. So what I don't want, again, some of you here might have been here for a little while, and what I'll say, like I said before, is it can be encouraging and discouraging. It can be encouraging the fact that, yes, you can build a business fast. I've built pretty quickly, but that's because of, number one, good people, right? Number one, good people, and number two, I've met those good people over these years. So really, that's what it's all about. And so, in short, it really is all about recruiting, because that's why everybody here is here tonight. That's why I'm standing here. I was recruited into this industry. You were recruited into this industry. And so if you want to advance in your secret career and in life, it's really about building relationships, and it's about, like I said, I've been talking, the theme of the past 10 minutes has been failing forward and meeting people and keep on going, okay? And then turning those relationships and introducing them into this. So that's kind of my quick story and why I'm here. I guess the first nugget of the night is failure is a blessing. Okay, guys. So definitely, if you feel like you've failed, you can always start over. And so tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about recruiting in 2 different lights, if you will, two different avenues of recruiting. There's the mental aspect, okay, and then there's the how-to. Okay. You all excited about this or what?
Yeah.
Recruit, okay. Do you know what I mean by recruiting is everything? You know what I mean by that? Because really,
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. Recruiting is certainly a way of life. Meaning you're always open, you're always looking for, you're always in business. Okay. But the other thing, what I mean, everything is, really everything you want in life and out of secret can be attained by one recruit. And in this comp plan, really 2 recruits, you know? But 1 recruit can really change everything because, you know, when you recruit somebody and they work with you and they're good quality people, they're here every week like you guys, you know, I mean, that can really change your whole entire business. And so without that, you're going to stay, and we're going to stay right where we are. And so, you know, if I'm a platinum, I want to get to Ruby, it's a matter of just recruiting more people. And so that's why this is so important. But there's 2 aspects to recruiting. There's the mental aspect, what happens in between your ears, and then there's the how-tos. And the reality is, maybe many of you tonight are looking for a lot of how-tos. Like I have always, every time I sit down for training, I look for the how-tos, but the reality is, without the mental knowledge, the mental mindset, the positivity, the positive mindset, without that, you know, without that, it's almost impossible to take the how-tos and apply them and succeed. You guys follow me? You can have all the how-tos and all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not in the right mind frame and you're not on game mentally, you know, like Keith already alluded to, growing and reading books and turning your business or your car into a university and growing and moving forward in life, it's going to be very difficult to apply those how-tos, you know, successfully. So, you know, recruiting is basically, it happens in 90-day sprints, okay? So what I want to open up this training, beside my story, by talking about the 90-day sprint, all right? There's a reason why we're doing Mission 90. The reality is, you know, the majority of the growth in your business will occur within 90-day sprints. And that should quite honestly be a relief to everybody tonight. A relief because you don't have to always be recruiting nonstop like a robot, like a machine. You guys, you happy about that? You know, because recruiting is tough. It's not easy. Okay, if it were easy, then everybody would be diamond $250,000 and plus earners in this company. It's not easy, but the good news is you don't have to always be recruiting. In fact, if you recruit, you're probably not managing your team and actually leading people and growing people in your organization. So what we do in secret and just in the industry is we go in 90-day sprints. Okay, so raise your hand if you've committed to Mission 90 in here. Okay, awesome. That is phenomenal. Yeah, thanks, Lauren. So Mission 90 is basically accomplishing 90 presentations, okay, within 90 days. And this started, you know, what did it start? January 27th. January 27th, right. So, you know, we're approaching the halfway mark, but the reason why this is so important is because nothing happens in your business without communication and without an exposure. You guys follow me? You know, without that, you're not gonna recruit anybody. And so this 90-day sprint is extremely important because if you can pour everything if you pour everything into 90 days, it can change your business. Then you can take a breather after that and go and help people and duplicate and build your organization. And then maybe in 6 months from now, go on a 90-day sprint. I did my 90 days when I first, you know, started with Secret in October. I should say first started coming live with Secret. For many of you who know my story, I couldn't necessarily come out live with Secret because I would have lost my income from my previous company. So I kind of was undercover for a little while. But when I actually went live, my 90 days was October, November, and December were like really my 90 day. Now I committed to Mission 90, now I'm running, you know, but it's, you know, I kind of did two and a half or 1.5 90 days. So yeah, so back to the mental part of it though. The reason why this works so well, all right, the reason why the 90-day sprint works so well is because once you break the ice of recruiting and activity, you're in the flow of things and it's easier to keep going. You know, I think one saying in this industry is it's much easier to build this business fast than it is to build it slow. And the reason being is because right now I know that many of you are where I've been, okay? And we've all been there, Bradshaw's, maybe in a low point. Maybe you haven't had a victory in a little while, right? And it's tough to keep marching forward with that. Raise your hand if you either have experienced that or are experiencing that right now. Absolutely, okay? the reality is, if you can harness your momentum, that is what's going to help you break that cycle. Okay, so right now you might be in a sort of a low mindset, right? Because you haven't had a victory. Well, when you go through the numbers and you do this mission 90, right? And you expose 90 people in 90 days, you're going to have a victory. And when you have a victory, that's when you know to keep going. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made in my earlier career, and many people make, is once they have a victory, they stop. Okay? All right, now I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand on this, but think to yourself, have you ever had a recruit and a victory and then kind of just stop? Right? Yeah, I got one. Right? And then stop, right? That's when you hit the pedal even more. So raise your hand if you've had a recruit in the last 7 days. Raise your hand if you had a recruit in the last 7 days. Keep them raised, keep them raised. Yeah, let's clap for that, by the way.